Today on the channel, it's the return of the Kyle Peterson Top 5, and we got a deep cut one today. We've got Shelton Benjamin.
The spirit of Ultimate Warrior will run forever!
Welcome everyone, Kyle here, and welcome back to another edition of the Kyle Peterson Top 5, a Thursday tradition here on the channel as we count down my top 5 favorite toy lines, most wanted, action figures, you name it, we count it down here, and of course every Thursday on the channel. So make sure you subscribe, hit the old notification bell, all that kind of fun stuff. But today on the channel, we're doing a deep cut top 5. You know, there's always the John Cenas, the Ric Flairs, the Ultimate Warriors, all the heavy hitters to do. But there's a lot of guys that kind of float somewhere in the middle, and that's where our top 5 comes in at today. We're talking about Shelton Benjamin, a guy in wrestling that I don't think gets his just due, his deserved credit. If you go back when he was first on the scene with Team Angle, then working his way into a solo career, that match against Triple H for sure, he was really rising, and then something happened. His water got cut off, as they say, and just kind of fell away. Went away from WWE, went to Ring of Honor for a little bit, went around, came back to WWE where he is currently. But a bit of a missed opportunity. He came along when really the WWE was the only game in town, unfortunately. Can you imagine if AEW was around back then? I got to think he would have been over there maybe, or at least he would have been higher up on the card, however you slice it. So a guy that really had all the tools, just didn't really get the chance or the momentum he needed to really take it to that next level. But hey, guess what? He's made a career out of wrestling. He's still employed, been a part of the Hurt Business with Bobby Lashley, still on TV. I wouldn't say a regular basis, but still dabbles. He dabbles in some television. So good for Shelton Benjamin, and I figured it was time to do some of these deep cut top 5s. Guys you don't think about a lot of times, and Shelton Benjamin's probably had over 15 figures. At Jack's days, everybody got tons of figures. He did as well. We got regular Ruthless Aggressions, Adrenalines, Deluxe Aggressions, Mattel Elites, Mattel Basics, a lot of Shelton Benjamin figures over the years. So I figured it was time to do one like this, so that's what we're doing today. We're talking about the top 5 Shelton Benjamin figures. As always, make sure you put your list together. Might be a little hard. You might have to research it, but that's the fun. That's the fun of it. Research your list. Put your list in the comments down below. Make sure you put them in order. 5 all the way up to number 1. So without any further ado, let's get into it. Let's get into the top 5 Shelton Benjamin figures. All right, let's start at number 5, and number 5 comes from us from Jack's Pacific. Jack's Ruthless Aggression style figures, a favorite of mine, and the style of figures Shelton had the most figures in over the years. And this one comes from the Adrenaline set. Adrenalines being usually tag teams 2-packs with his partner Charlie Haas. There was a few of them, but we're talking about Adrenaline 25. He's got the old dragon on the side. I'm not sure what this little bow's for, though. I thought that was a neat addition. This is one that's hard to find in really good paint shape, unless you get it right out of the package, as the paint is a little cheaper on this one, so it does scuff a little bit, if you guys know. We do got the Shelton Benjamin head sculpt here, the patented Jack's one. He didn't change a whole lot. They went back to the drawing board very few times for Shelton Benjamin. He might have only had 2 or 3 different head scans. Might even be 2, the whole Jack's run. But this one was always good because it had a nice stance to it. The legs are separated a little bit. Good arms on there. No fists going on, but 2 gripping hands. But a good representation of Shelton Benjamin here. And of course, Charlie Haas, another great one in this 2-pack. Charlie Haas had quite a few figures as well. And that might be the best Charlie Haas figure of all time, is that one. I don't know. Maybe we'll do a Charlie Haas top 5 in 2027. We'll see if that happens. But Shelton Benjamin looking really good on this one from Adrenaline 25. And that's why it comes in at number 5 on my top 5 Shelton Benjamin figures of all time. All right, we're at the number 4 spot, and out of all the top 5, top 10s we've done so far, somebody can correct me if I'm wrong, this may be the first Deluxe Aggression style figure that's ever been on one of these lists. And we're looking at Deluxe Aggression Series 16, Shelton Benjamin. Now, Shelton, no stranger to the Jack's line, like I said, and he also had a few different Deluxe Aggression figures over the years. And I do like the Deluxe Aggression figures. I do prefer the Ruthless Aggression figures, but I think the Deluxe Aggression is one of, if not the most underrated wrestling figure line of all time. That being said, this is the natural progression from the regular Ruthless Aggression style to this, to Mattel Jazzwares in the style we know today. They were the first to give us the ab crunch in wrestling, more articulation, big figures. A lot of people complain because everybody is giant, everybody is like He-Man. I'm not against that, though, because everybody's pretty much in the same scale. That was the scale at the time. It wasn't the days of giants here and there. Everybody was pretty much the same for the most part, and that's how they stylized their figures, so I didn't have a lot of problem with it. Between the two Sheltons, both are good enough, but I do like the golden hair on Shelton here. The gold standard, old Shelton Benjamin. Looks really good against the gold and the blue. A very, very good representation of what a Deluxe Aggression style figure is. And I get these aren't for everybody. They're not always for me either. But I do enjoy the Deluxe Aggressions I have. They have a certain spot in my collection on display. Still tracking down a few of them that I need to complete that set. But the Shelton, a very, very good one. A very respectable Deluxe Aggression. And he's coming in at number 4 on my top 5 list. All right, we're at the halfway point. You got your list together? As always, make sure you put your list down in the comments below. And number 3, all I can do is ask one question. Do you like to party? Do you like to party? Well, Shelton Benjamin likes to party. And this one comes to us from Ruthless Aggression Series 34. This is one of the most comical Jakks Ruthless Aggression figures ever. I always chuckle when I see this. I really laughed when this came out for the first time, as I always thought of this as Shelton Benjamin circa mid-2000s going out to the club, going to party. He's got his gold hair. He's got his crazy outfit on. It looks like just almost like a step between going out to a club and being in your pajamas is what it looks like. Somewhere in between. But it's such a one that catches your eye. You line up all the Shelton Benjamin figures, this one catches your eye right away, and it's so goofy and funny looking. I remember there was some discussion years ago on one of the wrestling figure boards or Facebook groups or something, and they were trying to find a picture of him in this outfit, and there was a picture of him actually wearing this. But a very, very funny one, something totally off the beaten path, but it does look pretty cool. He's got that nice smiling face going on, like he's, hitting on some ladies at the club is what he's doing. We got the Shelton Benjamin dragon on the back of his shirt. Just a very tongue-in-cheek, very funny figure. Could not be on my list. I couldn't put it at number 1, but he came in right in the middle at number 3. All right, we're down to the final 2 in my top 2 Shelton Benjamin figures of all time. And for number 2, Jakks gets the Duke once again. We go back to Jakks, but we go to the Toys R Us exclusive WrestleMania 19 2-packs for Team Angle Shelton Benjamin. I would say for most people, that is where Shelton really got on the radar as a part of Team Angle, with Charlie Haas and, of course, Kurt Angle leading the team. An amazing unit, an amazing trio. Wish we would have got more of them. I think this is something AEW takes maybe a little bit too far sometimes, is some of the trios and some of the groups they have. Seems like everybody is part of a faction. But when you have just a few going on, like WWE at the time here of Team Angle, it really meant something special. It really gave the rub to Charlie Haas and Shelton Benjamin to make them feel like they were a really big deal with them partnering with Kurt Angle. And it made sense. It looked good. Always loved him in his singlet look. He's got the old mustache on. I don't know if Shelton should have kept the mustache, but it is what it is at this time. He has the mustache. Of course, Charlie Haas to go along with him. So you got to have the Team Angle 2-pack, and then why not grab the Kurt Angle as well? He wasn't part of the pack, but you have to have him to display the 3. Would love to see a Ruthless Aggression Mattel Elite style version of this threesome. Hopefully one day. I don't know if it's in the cards. I know Charlie Haas, I think, has a Cella coming out eventually. But man, it'd be cool as part of their Ruthless Aggression relaunch with Mattel, whatever we want to call it, with the Walmart series and some of the SummerSlam series like we saw here the other day. Ruthless Aggression figures are getting their due again, and I would love to see Team Angle rise once again back to the spotlight. But for me, WrestleMania 19 2-pack, Charlie Haas, Shelton Benjamin, Team Angle, number 2 on my list. All right, we're at the end of the road. We're at the number 1 Shelton Benjamin figure of all time. Make sure you put your list in the comments down below. And while you're here, you've watched this far, you might as well like the video, subscribe to the channel, hit the old notification bell, and follow along on Patreon. Link in the description below, where you get this video about a week early, most likely. Plus bonus videos, giveaways, exclusive content, and best of all, you get to support the channel. So check out the Patreon. Without further ado, let's get down to number 1. What do you think the number 1 Shelton Benjamin figure of all time is? Well, I think this is going to be on a lot of people's list. And who am I talking about? We're going to Mattel. We're going to Elite 63. We're going to the Gold Standard Chase Edition Shelton Benjamin. Always love the gold standard whenever I can, the gold hair. Of course, the regular edition being just more of a plain Jane non-golden haired Shelton Benjamin. But you got to give the Duke to this. It's almost like the face paint mask type thing. Coloring your hair a crazy color, gold like this. It's there all day long. Well, of course, Mattel Elite. We all love the Mattel Elites. I do think the Duke goes to Jax every once in a while on certain things, but I can't say that on Shelton Benjamin. This truly is the best Shelton Benjamin figure of all time. The paint apps, the look, the articulation, it's truly the total package like a young Lex Luger. And funny story here is, now Elite 63 was where the Chase figures started to come back again. They gave us a variant. A lot of people don't realize that way back in the early days of Mattel Elites, we did have Chases with Chris Jericho and Ted DiBiase Jr. and some of those, but it came back in Elite 63. This was the first Chase one, and of course I bought this, and I had it in the sack still from Walmart, I think is where I found it. Somehow, between my wife or my kids taking the garbage out, that sack went out with the garbage. I didn't realize it till the next morning, and of course, there it was being dumped away into the garbage as the garbage picked up that night. And so I threw away a Chase Shelton Benjamin. So you can imagine how happy I was about that. Just throwing $20 out the window is what I did. So then I had to track down another one, which wasn't really hard at the time. Not sure about right now. Maybe a little harder to find after all these years. About 40 sets almost since this one came out. But very, very cool figure. I'll never forget the story of throwing away this figure on my first go-around. But a very, very good Elite. One that's a little bit forgotten maybe as we've had so many Elites over the years. And Shelton Benjamin, really not a lot of Elites. He should have some more. I would love to see something with the Hurt Business, more modern day. But we got the regular edition, we got the gold standard, and as of right now, that's where we sit with Mattel Elites. We do have a few basics, but for me, out of all the Shelton Benjamin figures, which we're really talking just Mattel and Jax, this one gets the win. Number 63 from the Mattel Elite line is my number one Shelton Benjamin figure of all time. And like I said, make sure you put your list in the comments down below. Follow along on social media at SirPaul64 on Twitter, Instagram, _Kyle_Peterson, and of course, ProWrestlingTees.com. Search Kyle Peterson. For the Shelton Benjamin Top 5, I'm Kyle. See you guys all real soon.